Satellite images show before and after Iran's nuclear sites. Guys, let's go ahead and jump into this immediately. I kind of been waiting all day for this type of information, so let's check it out. It's a suggestion via channel member. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Brand new details about Operation Midnight Hammer from Defense
Midnight
Secretary
Hammer.
Pete
Is that
Hegseth
the name?
and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Now, here with me at the Magic Wall to break this all down and about what we know is retired Colonel Cedric Layton. Colonel, thank you so much for being here. Take us through this mission, because it had been in the planning for quite some time.
It really has, Manu, and this is the graphic that the DoD provided us with this. So they started, they've been planning this for, in some ways, for over a year, and in other ways, they've been doing exercises that kind of did the same thing.
A year, right?
For up to 2 or more years.
Oh, wow.
But the key thing is this: the actual operational planning really started a few weeks ago once the direction came from the president to do this kind of thing. So when they left Whiteman Air Force Base, they did it basically right after midnight on the 21st of June. And then they came through and struck the targets in Iran about 18 hours later, 18 hours and 19 hours later. And they hit the 3 sites that we've been talking about before. These are the ones that, of course, have become famous now: Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. And these are the ones that, of course, not only because they've been in the news, but because of what they had, became important from an operational perspective to actually eliminate. And that's why they had the kind of payload that they did on the B-2.
And there's been a lot of discussion about the Fordow facility in particular. And the Pentagon says they've obliterated Iran's nuclear capabilities. But Fordow in particular, how hard is that to penetrate?
So take a look at this right here, Manu. When you see the security perimeter right here, and then in just a second, we'll get some more details here, because you've got the support building and tunnel entrances. This is way deep underground, almost 300 feet underground. So when you look at the layout of this, you've got those tunnel entrances that I talked about, that support building, and this mountain covers the centrifuges. The centrifuges are the key part to them doing what they need to do to, in essence, enhance the uranium to get it to the level that they need. So when you look at what this looked like before June 20th, this is what the fuel enrichment facility looked like from a satellite view. Now take a look at what happened here. Every single thing that you see here has been actually changed a bit. When you look at this, the June 20th slide, take a look at the facilities up here and over here. Now look, this is gone.
Wow.
This right here is also gone. So these are the kinds of things that happen. And another thing that's really interesting about this, take a look. This is that support building that we showed earlier. Everything looks intact. These are the tunnel entrances. Now let's take a look. When you go over here, you see that these tunnel entrances have been damaged beyond repair. There's what appears to be smoke damage right here at the support building. And then when you look here, see these things right in this area right here. These are penetration holes right where the bombs hit. And when you look at, there's actually a further one when you go this way, right up in this area, right here, which shows that there are very key, precise impacts that they struck. And the idea here was to get at the centrifuges and use it with multiple bombs so that they could go down deep enough to eliminate the possibility of them even enriching the uranium.
And we'll see if they've done that. The Pentagon says this thorough evaluation is still ongoing. And meantime, there's this concern, real concern about retaliation from the Iranians against you.
Okay, guys, so this is absolutely what I've been waiting to see. I wanted to see exactly how much damage actually there was. Now, the fact that there are obvious penetration points, and basically how the device itself basically works is it doesn't detonate immediately on impact. It just basically digs into the ground and then detonates underneath the ground. So obviously we're not going to see like a gigantic hole or anything, but obviously the evidence is there in front of us. And if you know what the MOP is, in fact, there should be nothing left there. And the fact that it looks like they did it twice, jeez. You wanted to make sure.
U.S. assets in the region. There are a lot of them. Tons, thousands of troops as well.
Yeah, basically 40,000 troops throughout the Middle East, Manu, and especially concentrated in the Persian Gulf region. And what's across the Persian Gulf? Iran itself. So that means that it's within missile ranges of not only the long-range missiles, obviously, but short-range missiles as well, that the Iranians could easily lob into the areas such as the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Iraq. So those are the kinds of things that are forces have to worry about from a force
Okay.
protection standpoint. But each one of these areas really makes it very clear that every single one of our troops is definitely within range, but that doesn't mean that they can't defend themselves. They will be able to defend themselves if the proper measures are taken and if we have the right intelligence when it comes to Iranian intentions.
Yeah, that's everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, guys, I don't think that they're going to just immediately attack, let's say, some of these places, because that would end up terribly for them. They're already in a situation that is not amazing, right? But if you start lobbing, missiles specifically at bases that are in some of these countries, nah. I think the safest one is the one in Dubai, personally, and Kuwait. Uh, Period. I think those are basically the safest ones. Maybe Saudi Arabia also, guys. The ones in Iraq, careful.
Where the U.S. is watching for right now, that
Very careful.
next step that the Iranians may take. Colonel Layton, thank you so much for breaking
Yeah,
this all
'cause
down for us.
You bet,
Other,
Manu.
other places are going to get involved.
To you.
All right, Manu, I'm joined now by CNN national security analyst Beth Center. Beth, thanks so much for joining us. What kind of intelligence gathering is happening right now to ensure that the Pentagon's original assessment that had been made public, that these Iranian assets were obliterated, is actually accurate?
Right. So there are going to be multiple different kinds of sensors and overhead imagery, as well as trying to maybe listen in on what people are saying.
Yeah, because that's all you can do.
The Israelis have a human network of spies. So all of these things will come together in the intelligence community. We call it all source intelligence. We're
Okay.
taking things in from everywhere we can to put together a picture of what happened inside that hall. But in addition to that, everybody, at least all of us on the outside, are asking the question, where is all of Iran's highly enriched uranium and their centrifuges? Can we say that with these 3 sites hit, that there aren't other, that the HEU, enriched uranium, and the centrifuges haven't been secreted away to covert facilities
Before
that
this
I would
even
say
happened.
we would be crazy to think they didn't have?
Exactly. All right. So, like, you could have basically hit an empty cavern for the most part here, right? Well, I mean, obviously things are there because obviously things were built underneath there that cannot just be basically removed here. What's the plausibility specifically? Now, they have no interest. Iran forever now is going to have no interest with doing any type of talks or anything. They're just going to deny, and more deny. They're going to become a lot more insular with who knows exactly kind of what's going on, because obviously if there's a gigantic network of spies, let's say, then you can just imagine here. Under no circumstance are they going to have left things in that structure. I don't think so. But,
To use a double
Let's do it.
negative.
The U.S., as you know, Beth, is now in a heightened state of alert in the region for possible retaliation.
Obviously.
How is the U.S. intelligence community now monitoring any potential Iranian-related threats?
All the ways she just said. Was that a commercial in the middle of my video? I don't know, guys. I don't know what just happened here. I have YouTube Premium. But listen, guys, there are a couple of things that are definitely, we should definitely be worrying about. Specifically when it comes down to some type of retaliation. I do think that most likely is going to come in some way. I definitely hope that it's not that meaningful in terms of the amount of damage that actually occurs, guys, because any type of American, loses their life, it's done out there, guys. Right? It's immediately done. Period. Because they're going to be absolutely thrusted into the forefront of our media, and public sentiment specifically about this is going to start rising, and then it's going to dictate that we get some type of retribution, and then now we're sucked into a gigantic kerfuffle, even larger than what we have already kind of been sucked into in the first place here. I do definitely hope that this structure is done now. Right. But I do also believe at the same time that there's almost no way we can guarantee that the uranium is completely gone. Like specifically the enriched uranium is gone. Like there's no way we can guarantee that. And obviously they're going to do some type of ground penetrating radar, et cetera, to make sure that the structure in itself has collapsed in on itself from the inside. But other than that, guys, I definitely believe what she said here at the end here, that they moved it. Okay. Like if the world already knew, like if we all knew that the United States of America was mobilizing aircrafts, if everyone knew already, you think they didn't know? But all right, listen, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.